Hi Virgo, welcome to your March 2023 Astrology Horoscope forecast. As promised in February, March is quite a cracker of a month. We have Pluto that is going direct. We have Mercury, Mars, Venus and Saturn that are going to be changing signs. Now what this simply means for you is I will encourage you to watch the video till the end, because I'm going to be moving through the planets and I'm going to be touching all the aspects of your life. I'm going to be talking about your relationships, especially with Pluto and Saturn, and how exactly they're going to be impacting you. So please hang on and bear with me, because the planets are large and powerful and we'll work along with it. So on the 3rd, we have Mercury that is joining Neptune and Sun, and it is there in a part of your chart that is about your marriage. It's about your business partnership that feels like a marriage. It's a very close partnership. Now, it may be that for some of you, you have had the sense of being or feeling deluded. There has been a sense that, some information has been maybe kept away from you. It also speaks that there could be the sense of discomfort of maybe not being able to express yourself. But use the energy of Mercury and Sun to highlight something that may have been bothering you as far as where your marriage is concerned. Maybe there has been an underlying, whether it is tension, whether it is some information which your partner has not shared with you. Similarly, as far as your work, your business partnership is concerned, it can be that maybe you have been idolizing the partnership a lot, and maybe you need to be taking a tough call where the partnership is concerned. On the 7th, we have a full moon that is there in your own house, Virgos, and this is a time where, in any case, full moons are very emotional, because something is coming to an end, something is reaching its fruition, and it's about endings, it's about releasing something from our lives. And for you, because it is there in your own house of self, it speaks about a time maybe you're releasing certain ideas, certain value systems which really no longer serve you. And this may be things that, over the years you have told yourself, no, this is, you have to be absolutely be in a certain way if you want to get things done. And I'm not asking you to be unscrupulous, but I'm simply saying that there will be a shift of perspective of when you're looking at your own patterns, when you're looking at where it is that you want to be in life, what is it that you want to achieve, who it is that you want to be. And also there would be a great desire to sort of put your correct foot forward in the world, so that you're perceived in a certain way. Your own self-image would be quite important. The external appearances are fine to be worried about, Virgos. You need to be concerned more about what's really been going on deeper inside you. Your own psychological pattern, things that maybe you've inherited from your parents, things maybe that you have inculcated by your better half while, in your marriage. Maybe you are mirroring a lot of what he or she is saying or doing, which could be absolutely be separate from your own identity and individuality. So a full moon over here is going to be bringing you all these emotions up for investigation. On the 8th, we have Saturn. Now, this is a big move, and it is going to be moving into your house of marriage and partnerships for the next 3 years. So this is nothing to, first of all, freak out. This is nothing to really get worried and say, oh, it's going to be breaking my marriage. Because Saturn is a teacher planet. When one of these heavy planets, slow-moving planets comes and stays in any part of our house, in our chart, it's simply a time for us to be growing over there. It's a time for us to be evolving in that specific space. So for you, this is about all about close relationships. It's a time where, it can also be that you form a lot of wonderful professional associations. You make maybe friends who seem like family at workplace. And however, they can be, that your responsibilities as far as your marriage is concerned, that gets increased. It can also be that, that it's a time where you need to be stabilizing your relationships as well, Virgos. For some of you who get married during this phase, during the Saturn, the 3-year phase, it can be that you are attracted or drawn to someone who's far more older, who's mature, who brings that stability into your life. And often this kind of a relationship is very karmic in nature. So the interesting thing is that when Saturn is aspecting this, it can be completely opposite as well. That there could be a lack of opportunities as far as marriage is concerned. And please know that this also speaks about the rest of how the rest of the planets are placed in your own personal chart. This is a very generic reading. Saturn also at times brings challenges where close relationships are concerned. So maybe you need to be recognizing certain patterns in your partner. Maybe you need to be changing yourself in order to be more adaptable. And in any case, even if it's a strong, good marriage, there will be some adaptation and compromises, which is a very natural part of any relationship. But I would urge you to be, rather than be fearful of Saturn, to roll up your sleeves and to work with the energy of Saturn to, if there are some changes that are required or some transformation that is required in some feedback that has been given to you, often by close partners, that you're very rigid or you're very stubborn or you're very nitpicky, then that is something that you need to be, paying some heed to it. It can also be on the other side, that maybe you've just not been paying much attention to your relationship. Maybe you've just said, we all get complacent that let things be the way that they are. Why rock the boat if, and no one is complaining? Why should, I be the one who's sort of creating that turmoil? But often when there's complacency, there is stagnation. So, and it's never good to be in a stagnant relationship. So maybe irrespective of how, long you've been married, maybe this is a time for you to be, spending some quality time, maybe doing some activities with your partner, ensuring that it's just, you and your partner together, maybe looking at your partner's interests. And similarly, I would say on the other side, if there has been an absolute lack of interest from your partner's side, maybe you need to be bringing it up during this time, and you need to be confronting it. It doesn't have to be a fight, but at times it's good to speak up things that are passively rotting inside us. It's good to let them air out. On the 17th, we have Venus that is moving into a part of your chart that is all about long distance travel. This speaks about deepening your spirituality. It speaks also about broadening your mind, and it is joining Uranus over here. So a wonderful time to be if you've been wanting to learn a new language, if you've been wanting to study. For those of you who are students, you've been looking for scholarships, a fabulous time to be applying for that grant, applying for that that university that you've been thinking about. A wonderful time to be upskilling yourself as far as technology is concerned. Good to be learning. There's plenty of content now which is absolutely free. I think you can check out the YouTube videos. You can see a lot of courses. There are a lot of creators who are sharing so much of information and free. So please go ahead and make full use of that knowledge. On the 20th, we have Mercury that moves into your house of joint finances, resources, sexuality, intimacy, and this is also the house of transformation. And then on the 21st, we have Sun. And that's not it. We then have a new moon as well that is there. So this is really, really big, especially with Mercury. In your this house of joint finances, it's going to make you want to almost be like a detective. You're going to be digging as to the joint investments that are there, what went where, who shared what, and you're not going to be accepting it at face values, Virgos. You're going to be looking at delving really deeper, looking at the core as to, who brought what on the table, who takes away what on the table. At times, this also speaks about certain legal cases. At times, it also talks about alimony. If you've been in a bad marriage, and there could be an ugly divorce that could be happening. It could be that you're fighting over either the custody, or you're fighting over the, who takes the silver and who takes the linen. It could be there. It is also a time wherein, with the Mercury and the Sun and the new moon over here, that you would be quite, I would say, not short of patience, but you're going to be looking at having deep conversations. You're going to be seeking more authenticity. Maybe earlier, if you've just been happy, having a drink or a cup of coffee with even acquaintances, this is a phase where you're going to say, you know what, I just do not have the patience to be investing that kind of time or investing myself. I need authenticity. I need people who are genuine, who are my tribe, whom I can relate with. And it's more of a serious phase, Virgos. There is a lot of introspection. There is a lot of even a sense of, getting what you deserve. You are not willing to make shortcuts anymore. On the 24th, we have Pluto, and this is like the movement of the decade. And Pluto is moving into your house of day-to-day chores. It is the house of your health. And initially, Pluto is just going to be peeking in. It will just sort of come in briefly for 3 months, give you a taste of what is it that you can expect, and then it's going to be rolling in into this house for the next 20 years. So this is a biggie. I've spoken about this in great detail in my annual 2023 video. So should you want to know more detail about how Pluto is going to be affecting you, please, you may go and watch the video. I'm just going to summarize it very quickly over here. Now, Pluto is going to push you to work selflessly, Virgos, in this during this entire transit. And initially, there is a sense of disappointment. There's also a sense of feeling uncomfortable when this transitional energy comes. It's like wearing a new pair of shoes. Initially we feel uncomfortable, and after a while you sort of break the shoe and you get comfortable. It's a similar, every time a new planet comes and stays in a house, especially a heavy slow moving planet, that's the kind of feeling that we get. So you could be slightly uncomfortable. There could be the sense of disappointment, even especially out of relationships. You could feel slightly dejected and say, like, why, I gave so much and I did so much. But Pluto over here is going to make you look beyond yourself, Virgos. For the next 20 years, the focus is really on creating something bigger than yourself. So I would urge you, don't feel bad, don't feel like the victim and thinking, that I have done everything for everybody and I've got left behind. But I would say that focus towards a goal of what is it that you wanted to do. Also be careful not to get sort of fanatical and not get to a border of sort of, self-sacrificing, say, for example, hypothetically, if you're associated with a charity, don't end up selling your house, just because you feel so strongly about it that you feel, oh, I cannot see people or dogs suffering, so I will sell my house and I will create this. There needs to be a balance over there. Yes, it's good to be compassionate. Yes, it's good to be devoting your life to a cause which is very close to your heart. But you need to be having that balance, because Pluto tends to bring about our compulsion. It tends to bring about our obsessions, our addictions. It's our dark side. And Pluto will sort of urge you to say, how does it matter? Yeah, maybe I sell your house. You can, if you're living in a slightly larger house, you can survive in a 1-bedroom, do that. So be careful of, and also it will bring about more such people, who would always be wanting something from you. So very important to be having very solid boundaries, Virgos. Ensure that it doesn't deplete your own energy, that you are able to give from a place of fullness, from a place where you don't feel either neglected by the end of it, or you feel absolutely deprived of any nurture. On the 26th, we're closing the month with Mars, that is moving in your house of groups of friends, and it is also people whom you consider your tribe. And Mars, of course, is going to be bringing maybe things that have been got stalled, maybe projects that you were collaborating with others, that you were working with others, and now maybe they get that push. However, because Mars is there, and Mars can bring about a lot of hastiness, it can bring about almost a sense of, I won't say aggression all the time, but there's this sense of urgency, which is not valid all the time. So try and be careful, especially if you're traveling and you drive. Try and be more cautious, more mindful. Try not to also rush into projects, especially if you do not have the time. Do not sort of rush into doing things and saying that volunteering for more than you can do. Remember to take care of yourself, Virgo. Pluto is a long transit. It's 20 years. You have to be mindful how it is that you conserve your own sense of self, how it is that you take care of yourself. Keep that in mind during the entire, and of course you can go ahead and do good for the entire world, but remember to take care of yourself first. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Virgos. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching.